Hello, everyone. Come on in, come and join us for the live Q&A after the amazing presentation by my co-host Hannah from Hand and Crochet.
Thank you very much. It feels weird that there's only two of us again.
I know, it feels a bit lonely, isn't it? Like we need somebody in the middle.
Oh, Catherine's here. Hi, Catherine. Good
Hello,
to have you back with us. I'm very impressed and very relieved that people are finding their way to and from all of the videos that we're doing.
Yes.
It's very impressive. Thank you, everyone.
No one's getting lost in the wild waters of the internet. And who would have thought that crochet shawls would be such a topic?
I know.
Conversation in the live chat under that YouTube video. So come on in, everyone. Come and ask your questions.
Carrie, hi, Julia.
Hannah is ready for you.
I'm ready. But yeah, if anyone didn't see the live chat, Joanne's here as well. Hi, Joanne. And Kay's here. Oh, hi, Kay. Come on in, everyone. If anyone didn't see, like, there was a live chat going on. Veronika, you said it couldn't pop up on yours. So if anyone didn't see
my iPad,
yeah, if anyone didn't see it, there was a lot of conversation with, the kind of the point of functionality of shawls and wraps. And why to bother making them, why to bother wearing them, and not in a negative way, but just kind of like a genuine question, genuine question. And then kind of lots of then conversations about how actually they're very, very useful, even if you just want to use them for decorative, and that's mainly what I use them for, really. There doesn't have to be a point to them, but they are also functional, aren't they, if they're going to add warmth and give you warmth. And it's just something different. It's about how we want to style ourselves and how we want to look and how we want to feel. And loads of people in the comments were saying, I wear a shawl every single day. And then there was a conversation about whether it's a regional thing or a country type thing, and saying, maybe it's more in the UK, etc. But it then absolutely seemed to be across the board. But it's just what your style is, I think, isn't it? As to what you like to wear. And the great thing is, I think, with shawls is that there are lots of different styles of shawls that could work with your style. There are lots of shawls that I wouldn't necessarily wear myself, but other people would, and that's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they can keep you warm, and I sometimes wear them just jeans, white t-shirt, because I can't get any more creative with my wardrobe in that given moment. And then I just grab any shawl, any color, any style, and when you put it around your neck, it just completely changes the boring look of white t-shirt and blue jeans.
Absolutely.
It's something completely different.
I was saying that as well, and that's so true, especially if you have a pop of color. So if you've got a plain outfit and you have a pop of color with your shawl, and I love the fact that then you're not, like I mentioned in the video, you're not then committed to the whole outfit in a bright color, and you can take it off if you feel. And I've been like that before. If I'm going somewhere where I maybe feel a bit intimidated or a bit anxious about something, I don't want to stand out. I don't want a bright color actually on me, but I feel a little bit of confidence in wearing a bright color as a shawl. And I arrive and I can take it off, or I can add it as and when I choose. I think they're quite powerful. Like, who knew that shawls were so powerful? Hey.
Yeah, definitely. They totally just elevated a simple outfit with just a simple addition.
And a good idea here from Julia as well. And I have done this actually. Styling idea: make a triangle shawl and wrap it around your hips like a gypsy overlay skirt. Definitely. As well as like almost like a sarong as well. I've actually worn a couple of these, the rectangle ones, as sarongs just around my waist. So loads
for the beach, when you want to pop to the bar to grab another cocktail, just put it around your hips to kind of cover up the swimwear if you want to. And so versatile.
Definitely. And Catherine's saying you have a wrap with sleeves, don't you? Yes, I do. So they've got this funny name of a sweater scarf, haven't they? It's a really bizarre thing. So it is literally a scarf, and it has sleeves on the end. It just kind of does up at the end here, and you can wrap it around yourself in many different ways. You can have a V at the front or a V at the back, or you can do it like a cowl neck and then not add the sleeves on. There's lots of, it's a nice, really adaptable piece, and that's then more into going into a garment. So that's another nice idea to try as well.
Yeah, that's a great stepping stone in between the two, isn't it? Yeah.
And this, I love this from Sally. You can make something really nice with one special skein of yarn to make you feel fabulous. Definitely. You can, and they don't use a huge amount of yarn, even like the mohair ones that you can make as big or as small as you like. You know, it doesn't use anywhere near the same amount of yarn as a garment would. So if that's a concern, then a shawl is definitely the way to
Yeah,
go.
definitely. And people do save those precious hand-dyed skeins of yarn for something special.
Yes.
So yeah, there are lots of shawl patterns, and I'm sure you have some, Hannah, as well, where it just uses the one skein, doesn't it? And just
Yeah, and that's it. Yeah,
let it stand out and use the skein for something special.
definitely. Sleepy Bear is saying, I love the idea of a lightweight shawl that I can flip over my head in the cold and not mess up my hair or take off during power surges. Yeah,
There we go.
Definitely.
Another awesome use.
Carrie's saying, what's the name of the orange shawl held with the yarn head doubled in the video? So this is the orange blossom shawl, wrap, scarf. Can't remember what word it has at the end of it. But it's orange blossom, and it's really easy. And if you're like I said in the video, if you're going to try mohair or a different yarn fiber or a fine yarn, this is a great one to use because it's a really simple stitch repeat. But it's very effective when it's done en masse. But it's really, really beginner friendly. So so that one would be a good one to experiment with.
Definitely. So is the lace weight held double? Would you say that translates to a fingering?
No, I don't know, not quite. I don't think not this one. No, this is Rowan Kid Silk, and I don't think it quite does because it's still got so much fluff to it, hasn't it? It's not the actual yarn is so thin.
I'm just thinking along the lines of people wanting to substitute that yarn if they don't want to.
But I mean, you can
some people don't get on with mohair, so if
you could substitute actually with any weight of yarn, couldn't you? You just make it to the size you want it because it's such a simple stitch repeat.
Yeah.
Make it to any multiple you like, and then you just keep working for as long as you want it.
Yeah.
And also, you don't have to hold it doubled if you don't want to, do you?
Or you could hold the fingering with one strand of mohair, can't you?
Yeah,
just
that
to
would
put
be
that little halo on that yarn. Yeah.
And that would make it more wintry and warm, wouldn't it? Yeah. It's very easy to transform shawls from summer to winter wear, I think, by doing that. Definitely.
Yeah, that's a great way to experiment, isn't it? Then get that knowledge of how yarn behaves and how to adjust things. Then moving on to something more complicated like garments, you'll have that experience on something quite safe, because it doesn't matter the finished size it comes out if it's a shawl, does it? So
yeah, all it has to do is go around you. It doesn't need to fit any other dimension. Kay saying, years ago the infinity scarf was popular, but I never thought about wearing a shawl around the neck. One you are wearing is lovely. Oh, thank you very much. It's kind of an infinity because it is a cowl neck. So for anyone who didn't catch this in the video, this one is a triangle scarf, but then it's got a section at the back here that's then joined. We don't work it in the round, we work it back and forth in rows, and then you just seam up the back of it. And because I just hate it, I really get annoyed when the ends flap around and I feel I have to keep adjusting it and stuff, whereas this, it actually hangs from my neck, so I don't need to faff around with it or do anything with it. And also then it being a summer shawl anyway, it stays away from my neck, so I'm not too hot.
Yeah,
there were some comments about hot flushes and things in the YouTube channel as well there. So if you do suffer with those, then figure out one that's not going to sit too high up on your neck.
Yeah,
I would say. Kim's asking, what kind of fingering weight yarn would you recommend for a lacy scarf? I'm a bit scared of thin yarns. First of all, don't be scared. Don't be scared. It's absolutely fine. You'll be absolutely fine. I think if you're making a lightweight shawl, something that's not fluffy to start with, because that adds an extra component, doesn't it, to making it trickier. And I would, if you could use an acrylic fingering weight, but you could, I think, go for perhaps a comfy cotton. So that's what I made my remake of this one in. So a lightweight cotton or a lightweight linen blend or a bamboo. We talked about bamboo yesterday. Yeah. That would be a bit heavier, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But I do think that would be really nice. This comfy cotton, it uses less than like 50 grams. It's less than one ball of yarn because there's so much air in it. There's so much space around it.
Oh, if you want a really specific yarn that I've recently made a project with King Cole Giza 4-ply.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 100% Egyptian cotton, but it's mercerized, so it's quite shiny and sleek. So it's really nice to work with. And I don't like cotton. If you've been following me, you know I don't like cotton.
We know.
That one is really nice to work with, and it's a 4-ply, so fingering weight, really nice to work with. It gives you a really great stitch definition as well, so perfect for lacy open stitches. So if you want a really specific brand, King Cole Giza 4-ply.
Excellent, excellent. A question on the shawls that you turn into cows tied at the back. What are the best dimensions for the piece? Well, it really depends on the style of the shawl and how you want it to sit. But neck-wise, so this one's quite a generous neckline and quite a generous cowl because I wanted it to drape down. And I think this is about 75 centimeters. Can't remember what that is in inches. Can't work it out. Divided by 2.54 or whatever it is. Yeah. So a generous neck would be about the 75. But then I think if you wanted to do it yourself, you could just measure where you would like it to sit as a general guide, and then work out how wide that then needs to be before you then join it at the back. So, or just look at a general cowl pattern and see how wide, because you could do it up. You could even do it as like a turtleneck, couldn't you? If you wanted a warm winter one, and I have done that actually with it, and then with a front bib, as it were, to come down for your shawl. And Debbie's saying, I'm a bigger woman. Do they come in different sizes? Generally, schools. I can't even say them the right way around now. Scarves and wraps and shawls, they come in just one size, but they are always very adaptable, because you're only going to be wearing them generally around your neck, unless they're like a triangle shawl that you're going to wrap around your body. Then you might find you might need to increase the size. But for example, the Wander shawl, which is just a very simple triangle, in that pattern, you can just carry on increasing. We start here at the top and we just get bigger and bigger and bigger. You can just keep increasing. You can keep making this longer and longer, and in all directions, all points of your triangle can keep increasing until you're happy. And the great thing is you'll then be able to try it on as you go, won't you? And be like, and in fact, that's probably what I did when I was designing this. I just made it to the point and I was like, yeah, that's the right size now. I'm happy with that. But you can definitely make them bigger if you want to.
Yeah, or the rectangle shapes are pretty much easiest to adjust, I would say. As long as you get the stitch multiple, like we spoke about the multiples yesterday. If you need to add, 10, 20 centimeters, just look into the pattern for the multiple and just add multiples of the stitches until you're basically happy with the size, whichever way it's worked. If it's the length and you're working across the shorter side, just keep repeating the rows until it's
the length is very easy to adapt, isn't it? Just keep going, or stop when you're happy with the length of it, because some of mine are very long and like intentionally very long. But if you don't want them that long, just stop early.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And Joanne's saying, I love the crescent shawl. Yeah, I really love the crescent shawl shape. It just helps you, like, you've got some crescent shawls, I think, haven't you, Veronika? Have you done some?
I think so.
Yeah, I feel like and it's just easier to drape them around and then tuck those ends in back around underneath you. But the only thing with this, as I said in the video, is that I feel there's definitely beginners can do this, but you need to be an adventurous beginner that is very happy to learn how to increase on one side of your row and decrease on the other side of the row, because that is how we get bigger and smaller, and that's what curves us around the corner. It's kind of like a mind-bending thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely. And then Julia's asking, is there a fibre that would not be good for wraps, scarves and shawls? I think if any fibre that you're sensitive to, obviously, would not be good. I think a heavy and thick cotton would probably be not fun to wear.
No, cotton would strangely, at that thickness, would probably strangely get too warm as well.
Yes.
Like, I know we, when you think of cotton, it's, summer yarn, it's light and it's breathable, but a heavy cotton shawl around your neck, I reckon that would get pretty hot.
I think so. I think you need to be careful with acrylics, but there are definitely better acrylics, but not better in terms of you can't use them, but more comfortable to wear.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You have to think of, like, it's generally going to be around your neck, unless it's going to be a triangle that you're going to wear over the top of clothes and it's not going to come into contact with your skin. But if it's something that will come into contact with your skin, make sure that it's something soft and that's gentle. And you don't really need to worry too much about durability, because, I did dip the end of this once in some food, actually, so it did need washing. So I won't go so far as you'll never need to wash them. But sometimes, obviously this is around the back of my neck. So, but they will very rarely need to be washed. So you can be more adventurous, I think, with your.
Even
your
if it's a
fibre.
wash, it's probably a gentle, refresh, like a just a gentle soak. And I can't. I mean, unless you have an accident, I can't imagine a shawl having to go through a vigorous wash at
No.
1400 spins and stuff. So, but another yarn that comes to mind is like a chenille yarn, like a really fluffy, thick.
Too thick. It would be like wearing a blanket, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Which is fine if you want to wear a blanket, but yeah.
I mean, you got the full fur yarns, but they're just those, what they're called? They've got a special name when it just literally comes across your shoulders, and people wear it like on top of their dresses.
A stole or a
something like that. Yeah. So yeah. I suppose it's more about what you want your shawl to be.
Yes.
What's you would then think what fibre is not suitable for that.
Yeah, definitely.
I wouldn't definitely rule out any fibre. It's just obviously different fibre will serve different purpose. But
get us going. Yeah, use anything. We don't mind.
It's all trial and error, isn't it?
Well, it is. It really is. It really is. And I have tried stuff in the past and even been commissioned to design stuff in certain yarns. And I try stuff and I'm like, oh, that doesn't work as well as I hoped. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine. You only know when you try.
Yeah.
If you don't try, you will never know. So have a dig in that yarn stash and have a look of what you've got and then do a swatch with it and go, actually, would I want to wear this around my neck?
Or you can just rub the yarn ball on your neck. That's
see what happens. A cape. Kristen has said a cape. Yes. Yeah, you can have.
That's it. Yeah, the
pattern actually. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
And capelets, and they're a really nice segue into garment making as well, actually, aren't they? Because they're very often the capes are very often done. Sometimes in rows if they've got a join at the fastening at the front. Sorry, but if they're a whole thing, they're done in the round, and it's basically like making a yoke ready for a sweater. Like Veronika's wearing now. You'd make a yoke, and then actually you could turn it into a garment by continuing down. But they are more forgiving because the sizing doesn't have to be perfect because you're not going to have to worry about underarms or anything. Yeah. And that's the key with garments, isn't it? Actually, the shoulder bit of it is fairly straightforward. It's the underarm. And now, I love this tip as well, Joanne said. I love to add a brooch to keep the shawl in place too. Yes, you can get really beautiful ones. You can get proper brooch pin, with the
shawl pins,
proper shawl pins. They're really beautiful, aren't they?
Yeah. I bought one a couple of weeks ago when I was at the sanctuary, a beautiful wooden one. But nice. I always kind of feel like I'm stabbing my shawl to death.
Don't worry, I'm going to stab this up. Sally's wondering, do you always block your shawls? Yes, I do, especially the fine lightweight ones, the lace ones. You in fact, I've done a video and I will post it as a reel later. The Serenity one that I remade recently. This is done in corner to corner, which we're talking about later, aren't we? This one, you can literally pull it apart, and before I blocked it, you could pull it apart and it opened up the stitch and you let it go and it just pinged back. It just absolutely disappeared and closed up. And the difference in this shawl, once you blocked it in the drape, and you'll get such beautiful drape if you block them. Definitely. So I would always do it.
Yeah, like we said yesterday, do it once and then you'll see what a difference that makes to your finished project, and you'll be converted.
Hopefully. Yeah, definitely. But yes, I do love a shawl. I didn't think I was much of a shawl person, but then when we were talking about topics and what to talk about, I was like, do you know what? I have actually got quite a few shawls, and they do relate quite well to then starting into garment making, which is obviously mostly what I do. So then I went on an adventure, didn't I, and updated all of the patterns. Some of these are really old patterns that have never been published and so on. So I've refilmed. So they've all 7 of them have got video tutorials for them now, and they're all posted and they're all on the blog, and they're all in an ebook and all that kind of stuff. So brilliant. I've got lots of shawls and different constructions and different levels for beginners through to more advanced. and then different yarn fibers and all that kind of stuff as well. So yeah.
So when you decide to do a new design, do you ever think of, oh, I'm going to do a shawl? Is it something that comes to your head? No?
No, not at all. In fact, most of these have been commissions for magazines or companies, or for blog hops, or a various event. It's never been like I really want to make a shawl. But now I've redone lots of them, I'm like, oh, actually, no, I do really want to make shawls. and of all of my stuff, I think this and my Richmond shawl are my most worn pieces of crochet. Like even all of my garments, everything.
Yeah,
I wear these all the time.
Yeah, I was going to ask which one is your favorite. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, this is probably the Richmond, because it goes so well with everything.
I was going to say it's quite versatile in color and shape and style, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, and it's done in, what's this done in? It's done in pallet yarn from We Crochet, and that's it's wool, but it's not too hot. You can definitely wear this in the summer, because that's the other thing. People think, oh, you can't wear wool in the summer, but you actually can. It can be actually, like you said about the cotton, can actually be quite hot and heavy. And wool, if you've got the right drape and the right, stitch pattern, it can actually be quite breathable and quite comfortable to wear. Well, not quite. It is comfortable to wear.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, Sally's asking. The cotton shawl in DK, I can't see it on Ravelry. Is it on your blog? Yes, it should be on Ravelry. I'm fairly sure it's on Ravelry. The Evelyn shawl, the blue one. I think is that the one that you mean? Let me grab it. This one. Is this the one that you mean? Yeah, it will be a lot. It's an old pattern, so it's going to be a long way back on Ravelry. It'll be a long way back on Ravelry. It might be easier to find on Etsy, because you can just put in Evelyn. So yeah, it's my Evelyn shawl, and it's on the blog and in my stores as well. So this one is, I went with a DK cotton for this one, and it is so much heavier, but it's fine. It's fine to be heavier, but it is very much heavier than all the others.
Yeah.
It's amazing the difference, isn't it, that the fibre makes?
Definitely, yeah. So what's your favourite shape of those shawls? Would you, if you had to pick one, what would you pick?
I think the triangles. Mostly because I wear them at the front. I really like wearing them.
The point at the front.
Yeah, the point at the front. And the other thing is, if I had time, but I didn't, I ran out of time, I was going to make a smaller version of this, so like a neckerchief one.
Oh, lovely, yeah.
Really small. But you could easily do that. You just stop where you want to stop with this one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this style. But I think it depends what you're wearing as well, doesn't it? And what you're going to style it with and all that stuff too. Yeah. Definitely. But yeah, who knew there was so much to talk about shawls?
I know, definitely. So come along and ask your questions if you want to pick Hannah's brains about anything. We are here to help you through it. And don't forget to grab Hannah's freebie from the Summit platform. So remind us again what the freebie is.
I'd love to remind you what the
freebie is. Yeah, I was just...
can't remember what the freebie
is. It's the working with thinner lace yarn.
Well done. See, you knew.
That's right. So
how did you remember that? That's very impressive. So
it's going to be a great guide for you guys to grab, because obviously some of these shawls are worked in thinner yarns and lace weight and even the mohair. So Hannah's got an amazing guide put together on how to work with those types of yarns and all the tips and tricks and all the how to avoid all the pitfalls of that.
Definitely. Yes. Yeah, I think it's a very long time since we planned all of this and put everything together, isn't it? Everything. I'm like, I can remember everyone else's, but mine, no, I can't remember.
So I had the image in my head. I can see the visual, and I'm like, what was the title underneath that picture?
I thought it must be something related to the shawls, because I wouldn't have put anything else in. There would be no sense. But yeah, it's all about fine and lightweight yarns, how to choose them, how to work with them, and how not to be scared of them. That's the most important thing. That's the most important thing.
It is a great thing when you... I love when people kind of like, oh, I don't like that because I just want chunky stuff. I work with chunky yarns and heavy stuff. And when they kind of people realize that there is like a whole new world that opens in front of you when you try something different, when you get into those thinner yarns and the possibilities and how different that could be. And it's really great, even for your hands. Like I think we were talking about that yesterday, when you change between these different weights for different projects, because all these like chunky yarns, they take different kind of groups of muscles on your hands, and then when you go to the thinner yarns, you use different muscles, and it's good for your hands as well, just to change between all these different weights.
Definitely. Oh, okay, I've lost my mouse. There it is. There we go. There's the mouse. Marianne saying, did you say that to make a cow neck, you make a separate piece and attach it? You absolutely can do that. But for this one, I didn't. I started at the bottom point of here, and I worked up and increased up until I got it the size that I wanted it, just not to go all the way around, just to go for the front section. And then I extended, and I've made, so basically you add a rectangle onto the top of your triangle. That's all that you do. And then you join it at the back. But you could definitely make a separate piece if you wanted to, but the lace of this meant that it was just easier just to keep going, and add it as you go. Definitely. Oh, and Jan's asking for the link for the guide in here. So there is no, if the link doesn't exist, you need to go into the platform where you signed up for either the free or the VIP ticket, and then on my section, there's a section for each of the designers. On my section, there's a little button that you can click and then fill in your information, and then it will get sent to you.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh, and Catherine's already got it. Excellent. It's good to know that it works. Receive the guide. Very useful. Excellent.
Amazing.
And then here we go. What are your thoughts on semicircle shawls? Any particular patterns, tips that you recommend? I have never made a semicircle shawl, and I think I've avoided them because I'm not sure how I would wear one.
I have a little shawlette, which is like a semicircle, and to be honest, I wear it like a triangular shawl. It's just you won't have the point. You just have like a nice kind of a collar type thing around, but any particular pattern? Well, I have that shawlette. In terms of tips, they are a little bit trickier than any other shape, I would say personally, because you have to increase kind of quite regular, so it's nicely spaced out around that semicircle. So
there's much more counting involved.
Yes,
much more keeping track of where you are.
Yeah,
it's not an easy, straightforward. Well, it could be an easy stitch, but it's not an easy, mindless project. It's concentrate and keep your stitch count right. But they're absolutely stunning, aren't they? Some of them that are out there, absolutely stunning. But again, that's a lovely thing. You can go with it, as with all shawls. You can go for a very simple, straightforward. You could do it in double crochet, or you can go for the most intricate lace stitch that there is out there.
Yeah.
So they can be as much or as little as you want them to be.
Yeah. Do you know, there is one semicircle shawl, and I can't remember the designer now, and that's going to really bug me, and I'm going to have to find it. It was the designer used a hand-dyed yarn, but it's just one of those where they only make a different color on that one end of the hand-dyed yarn. And it was a pattern where it was a plain stitch, and when the yarn got to the colorful part, they made a popcorn stitch or like a bubble stitch.
Yeah.
And then they carried on with the plain stitch. And again, because that color comes round, if you untwist the hand-dyed skein, like a big circle, it was just like that one part of the circle was a different color, and the rest was like a gray color, I think.
Oh, lovely.
So basically, like the color the color of the yarn dictated when to make the bobble.
That's really cool.
Because it came around obviously quite regularly as you went round the circle. It was a really amazing shot, and it's really bugging me because I can't remember the design.
Oh, you'll have to look it up.
That was a semicircle.
Think of it. Yeah, we need to.
Yeah. I'm literally going to find it when we get off this line.
Sally says, me too. I love making shawls. Everyone gets a Christmas present. Brilliant.
Awesome.
Brilliant. And Joanne said, I knitted a semicircle. I'm not sure how it would work up in crochet, but something to think about. I mean, the mechanism is exactly the same. They're stunning to make. And I think you definitely, and actually tips tricks who commented about, I think they would be beautiful with a sundress, but I've been nervous too. If you think it would be beautiful with a sundress, it definitely would, and I think you should definitely make one. Don't be nervous. Just find a pattern that you feel comfortable and maybe already know the stitches of. Don't go for something that you're not comfortable and learning new things with the stitches, and then the technique and the shaping will be nice and simple for you.
Yeah.
Sleepy Bear said, I can't get the download to come to my email. It just disappears into nowhere when it downloads. Oh no, I'm so sorry. Email me, Hannah@handjancrochet.com, and I will sort you out.
Yeah.
Sally
There we
knows
go.
it. Sally knows it. Joanne's Grace
Yep.
semicircle bobble shawl. There we go.
Bingo. Sally wins the prize. That's it.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a really great idea. I thought that was really, really awesome because there was,
Definitely.
there was like a pattern to it, to those bobbles, but it was dictated by the yarn. So it was really, really great idea.
I love that idea.
Yeah, really, really great.
I do. Lovely. Right.
I think our shawl talk
Yeah.
is coming to an end. I can't believe it's time for another presentation.
I know. We're doing hats next. Hats.
Yes, we are.
Hurrah. If you've ever made a hat, you should definitely watch this. Even if you've successfully made hats that fit, you should still definitely watch this.
Yeah.
Sarah is fabulous and she's so funny to watch and
Yes.
really engaging and wonderful. So please do go and pop over to her. We've got 4 minutes now until her. Well, I don't know, actually. Sometimes mine plays when it wants to play, doesn't it, on my thing and doesn't. So pop over to Sarah. She's SEK Handmade, and the link will be all in the information as it has been for everyone else. So pop over there, have a watch of the video, and then as soon as it's done, we'll be back here and we'll be joined by Sarah to talk all about hats.
Absolutely. So we will see you shortly.